and set up the Intruders Foundation to spread the word.
Large, round, open mouth. If this is going on in the way that all the evidence suggests, it is the most important event in all of human history.
By profession, you are?
By profession, I'm a painter and sculptor.
Not a psychologist?
Not a psychologist.
Not a psychiatrist?
No. Not a psychiatrist.
Not an astrophysicist?
Not an astrophysicist.
Which is where Dr. Mack, his credentials, and his new book come in. He's become the champion of the abductee cause.
To be taken against your will, paralyzed out of your home or out of your car by strange beings through a wall up into some craft and subjected to intrusive procedures is by itself traumatic. It's also traumatic in the sense that the people cannot talk with other people about it because they will be ridiculed.
That's one of the worst parts, is the loneliness, feeling like nobody else understands.
You get people saying, well, I'm just not into this stuff. I'm not into this UFO stuff, but we're not into it either. It's just we've just had this thing happen and we need to talk about it.
They compare their bizarre experiences in meetings Dr. Mack holds once a month.
I don't know if there's such a thing as collective hallucinations. I don't think there is.
He brought a group together for us.
I know that the few times when I get past that terror, I find myself in the presence of another being who wants to communicate. You know, I've experienced a tremendous sense of love from them.
So what to make of all this? The abductees are fond of saying, look, either I'm lying, or I'm crazy, or I'm right. But other researchers say it's not that simple.
Just because you experience a humanoid doesn't mean that that was what was experienced.
When we come back, the debate. Is alien abduction real?
All I know is it's happening to me. That's the bottom line. It's happening. Alive creatures that are coming in and doing things.
Something happened. Yeah. What the heck was it?
There's a part of you that still goes, God, this is just nuts. This is crazy. It'd be nice to deny this, you know, I wish. And I think, well, it's nice to have someone at Harvard University saying, yes, I believe these people.
Once a skeptic, Harvard psychiatrist John Mack says he no longer has doubts.
I can hear their thoughts.
The stories of alien abductions are real.
Why don't they ask me to go with them?
The people that I work with are talking with great intensity of feeling, and they are talking about experiences of great importance to them which don't fit into the reality that we know.
He took me to a spaceship.
I was on a table and I was looking up at these taller creatures.
They were like touching my body in different places.
They're reporting in great detail.
There's this paralysis.
The same experiences that other people are reporting.
And you can't do anything.
And you can't move.
That's not the way any kind of psychiatric condition behaves. That's not the way dreams behave. The only thing that behaves like that is real experience.
The question is, experience of what?
First of all, it's real to the person. That's important to realize.
Michael Persinger, a neuropsychologist at Ottawa's Laurentian University, agrees the experience is real. In fact, he can duplicate much of it in the lab.
At any point in time you experience anything different or unusual, please go ahead and report it.
Every component of abduction-type experiences can be reproduced by stimulating certain parts of the brain.
Another of Persinger's experiments here produced this.
Feels like I'm lying here, but there's nothing I could do. It feels like I'm paralyzed.
Seeing images of other people, I'm not really sure who they are.
Are they gone? Persinger says that this kind of brain activity is something that many people occasionally experience. Nothing alien about it.
Individuals often report remarkably similar visitations of what were considered spiritual creatures. They always were described the same way. They feel a sense of a presence, usually late at night, between about 2 and 4 o'clock in the morning. The sense of presence is often apprehensive, sometimes fearful, and very often after those experiences they feel like something significant has happened to them.
But those are vague senses of a presence. So this is not vague. It's a very clearly articulated abduction experience in which the beings appear, the beings are described, they're actually taken into an enclosure, they describe in detail the intrusive procedures that are done to their bodies. It appears like something that's really occurred in their experience.
Why would they all come up with the same explanation?
The minute someone says, well, it's obvious you were abducted, then they start reading about abduction phenomenon.
The first thing that began to make it click was, I think, 1987, when communion Willie Strieber's book came out.
Rusty Hudson says he is an unwilling veteran of 10 alien abductions.
A girlfriend of mine was visiting me and pulled out the New York Times book review, and there's this big full-page ad. She says, "Oh, look, Russ, here's these things you've been drawing all over your notebooks."
Rusty's most disturbing experience in 1983 still haunts him today.
If I close my eyes, I can just always visualize these eyes, these big black, liquidy, staring eyes.
At the time, he only remembered a few images, and even those came in what he calls flashbacks.
What I did piece together was through through a hypnosis session that I had many years later.
Like most abductees, Rusty recovered his clear memory of the experience through a technique called hypnotic regression.
How many times have you been hypnotized?
I've been hypnotized about 5 or 6 times. It's like the face is emerging out of this light.
Rusty agreed to listen with us to a tape recording of his first session.
It's like all I can see out of the white is the 2 black eyes. Yeah, this part is what I remembered before hypnosis. I don't know if this is real.
We'll sort it out later. Just tell what it feels like.
What hypnosis does is it helps people to remember the disturbing parts of it, to fill in the details, really, that they could not consciously recall.
I see something. It's like rotating towards me. The next thing that I remembered clearly was this being that I had seen and a couple others sort of hovering around me, doing things.
Where the matter is of absolutely vital emotional importance, core importance to the person, memory is quite accurate.